What's up, Bulldogs? All right, I promised I would do another video talking more about why you need to get rid of female friends if you're a man and addressing some of the issues that people brought up. I wanted to really dive deep into this topic with a comment that I got from the previous video that I did. So let's take a look at that real quick here. He says here, John, I love your content and you've helped me a lot over the years, but I want to disagree with you here. Here's why. Many men in this space are essentially neurodivergent and struggle with relationships with other people. They did not grow up with sisters or close relationships with girls and tend to idolize them. Having female friends is a great way to desensitize yourself to being around women, to understand that they're not all that special, and to get introductions to girls that you will date. I was very much into the whole super red pill, no female friends space until I discovered it was actually a huge help to me. I hope this comment adds value to your viewers. Thank you for everything. Okay. And so I respond, I said, I'll do a video response. I get what you're saying, but it's much better to develop male friendships with guys who are good with women. Women treat friends and romantic interests much differently than each other. Being around women in a non-romantic way only feminizes men. He said, fair enough. I respect your opinion. Just have a different one. For 4 years ago, you suggested I read 2 books and I managed to take my business from 80K to 200K using that very advice. Thanks always for being there to answer questions for me and help me. You're a great dude and should be very proud of the impact you've had on others. So I appreciate that. Obviously not everyone's a hater just because they disagree with you, but I did want to, really break this down and talk about some of these concepts because I know a lot of you guys are confused about this or you disagree with me about this. And there's a lot of layers to this and a lot of levels to this. And I'm sure this won't be the last video on this topic because I do think it is really important for men to understand. And I want to help you understand this. I'm not just being a jerk. I'm not just being, a red pill guy that's like, okay, yeah, just ditch women and whatever. That's not the purpose of this. This is honestly to help you. And so let's kind of break this down a little bit. So he says here, many men in this space are essentially neurodivergent and struggle with relationships with other people. So first of all, I want to just address this. Neurodivergent, that does not exist. There's no neurodivergency. Now, yeah, there is autism. Some people are autistic, but we don't really have a spectrum. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but it doesn't matter if it's actually true or not. Stop thinking this way. Stop thinking about neurodivergence. Stop thinking about there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. One of the best ways that I help guys that I coach is I tell them that there's nothing wrong with them. Even if there is something wrong with them, I still tell them there's nothing wrong with them because you should not believe there's something wrong with you. It's not going to help you in any way to have that kind of belief. So this whole neurodivergent thing, it just means you haven't been socialized. It just means that you have not had exposure, that you have not actually developed the social skills that you need to succeed in life. And that's probably your problem, right? Again, the same thing with social anxiety, with all of these kind of things, with depression. Stop it. Stop labeling yourself. Stop giving yourself, putting yourself in a box, okay? So that's the first thing I'll say about that, okay? So coming back to this, he says here that these guys struggle with relationship with other people, which I agree. There's a lot of guys that do that. All right. They did not grow up with sisters or close relationships with girls, and they tend to idolize them. Okay. So this is very true, right? So many guys, they do tend to idolize women. And if you haven't grown up with sisters or close relationship with girls, that doesn't matter. Having a sister is not going to necessarily make you better with women. It could make you better with women, but I have 2 sisters and I was not good with women, not at all. And I did not understand women. In order to really understand women, it's not just about being around them. It's about being in sexual relationships with them. And even then, you probably don't understand women. It's about really studying it. It's really about studying women and studying yourself and understanding once you understand how to attract women and you understand what attracts them, that's when you really start to gain an understanding of women. So it is true that a lot of guys idealize them, but is it true that having female friends will help you to not idealize women? No, it's actually the opposite. Because what's going to happen is that when you have female friends, most guys, okay, this is not all guys, but I'm going to say most guys, when they're around women that they have as female friends, they are attracted to those women. It's ridiculous to think that most guys don't end up having female friends from women that they were attracted to. This is how you get in friend zone. This is how it generally happens. I'm not saying that's always the case. You might have a female friend that you've never been attracted to and you never will. Good for you if that's the case, but that's not usually the case. And so what happens when you're around a woman that you're attracted to and she's not attracted to you, or you're going to be just friends? What happens in that case? You would idealize her even more. The obsession's the one-itis that men develop for women. It usually comes from women who have friend zoned them, even not directly. Women that they have chosen as friends. And it's sort of a natural order and progression of things. This is the other thing to understand about this. If you're around a woman for a long enough time, you will become attracted to her in some way. All right, this is just how biology is. It's for a reason. Okay, that's why when you go to the zoo and let's say that they're breeding pandas or whatever it is, or bears, or some kind of rare animal, those animals usually end up having sex at some point. Okay, the attraction is biologically built into us based on proximity, right? If you lived in a small village and there was only a couple of women and there's just a few guys, you will eventually develop attraction for those women because that's what you're exposed to. Okay, and so you need to understand this about basic biology, about how we're wired. And so my point is, I don't want to belabor this too much, but being in close quarters with a woman, being friends with a woman, it does not help you to not idealize women. The reason why guys develop one-itis is because it has nothing to do with women. It has to do with themselves. It has to do with their own masculinity and their own internal validation versus external validation. It's not about being around women. If you have more women friends, it's going to hurt you. It's going to feminize you more. Why? Because what's going to happen is that you have this need for female companionship. You really do, actually, as a man. You're fulfilling that need at a lower level. Needs that get fulfilled at a lower level do not get fulfilled at a higher level. This is why pornography is a bad thing. It's because what it does to a man is it gives him what he wants without having to pay the price for it. And it satisfies a need, a basic human need, at a lower level, so it doesn't get satisfied at a higher level. If you just cut your pornography, if you just cut it so that you did not watch any of that stuff, you didn't allow yourself to jerk off, you would find that you will have the courage eventually to start approaching women, and you're going to have more success with women just by doing that. And when I say to cut the pornography, I mean also to cut any of the sexual imagery that you're exposed to, Instagram, all that stuff. Like if you completely make it so that you're not exposing yourself to any of that stuff, you are going to have this urge, this unsatiable urge to get those needs met, and that's going to cause you to do things that you wouldn't normally do. It's going to help you to actually get out there and start to develop that bulldog mindset, that lion that's inside you, and you're going to develop your masculinity because you're going to be required to, you're going to have to. So you have to understand this. This is very, very critical. And this is why, like I said, that there's a danger of female friends, because you're substituting the female companionship that you want, that you need in your life, with women who are on a platonic level. They do not see you as sexual interest. The other thing I'll say about that real quick is that you're also training your psychology to be such that you don't see women as romantic interests, and you don't automatically have them see you as such. So what I mean by that is, look, me as a man, if I'm out there in the world, I am viewing my interactions with women. I'm assuming that women are attracted to me. I'm assuming that women are seeing me as a sexual interest. That's my blanket assumption. Now, yeah, I'm married. I'm in a relationship now, so I'm not entertaining any of those ideas. Don't get me wrong here. But especially if I'm a single guy, I'm assuming that my interactions with women are on a non-platonic level. They are on a romantic level, because I want to continue to train my psychology for that, so that that's how I view things, so that I have standards, so that I'm used to things being that way, right? When you're around women all the time, or you have women that are friends, you're basically going against this. You're saying, okay, well, it's sort of like this. So think of it this way, right? Let me give you a better analogy. Let's say that you're a lion, which you are, okay? And let's say that women are like the prey, which they are. If you're a lion, do you think it's a good idea for you to be hanging around sheep that you're not going to eat? No, it's a very bad idea. Why? Because you're dulling that instinct. You're dulling that sharpness that you have. When you're a lion, if you see a sheep, you should be eating that sheep. You should be attacking that sheep, okay? You have to have that hunter instinct. And the more that you're docile, the more that you're not applying that hunter instinct to the prey, right? The more that you're around these sheep. If you had a lion and he's around sheep all the time, but he's not eating those sheep, not attacking those sheep, then when a sheep comes that he does attack, that he does go after, he's not going to be as ferocious, right? I want you to be ferocious when it comes to women. I want you to have that raw masculine presence, in essence, that's going to make you successful with women, that's going to attract them to you. I don't want you to be docile. So don't be around women when you're not, in a friendship way. Don't do that to yourself. Let me go through a couple other things that he says here. Having female friends is a great way to desensitize yourself to being around women, to understand that they're not all that special, and to get introductions to girls that you will date. So let's break that down a little bit. So let's talk about this idea of desensitizing yourself to being around women. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I just said that. I don't want you to desensitize yourself to being around women. I want you to be sensitized to being around women. I want it to make some feeling in your stomach where you're a little bit queasy, where you do have those butterflies, where you get that adrenaline rush when you see an attractive woman. I want you, in the presence of feminine energy, to be uncomfortable, right? To have that hunter, that killer instinct. I want you to have that, all right? So I don't want to desensitize you. I understand what he's saying. He's saying that, seeing that they're not all that special, I get that part of it, but that's going to come from winning. That's going to come from attacking, right? Again, if we go back to the lion being around sheep, does that make it so that he's like, oh yeah, sheep aren't special. I can just kill sheep or eat sheep. I don't have to be like, oh, put sheep on a pedestal. It's like, it'd be amazing if I got a sheep. No, that lion, he's being desensitized in that case, right? That's kind of ridiculous. Like, we wouldn't think of that. But what is going to make the lion think that no sheep is special is when he kills a lot of sheep, right? When he's like, oh yeah, I kill sheep all the time. If you're out there as a man and you're constantly having success with women because you're going up and you're talking to women, you're being sexual with women, you're having romantic connections with women, non-platonic connections with women, that's how you find out that they're not that special. That's how you don't put them on a pedestal. That's how you say, okay, yeah, there's plenty of women out there, right? Instead of getting one-itis for one. Now, don't get me wrong. At the same time, you should treat women like they're amazing creatures, like they're the only woman in the world when you're romancing them. But you do this from a different place. The one-itis place is putting them above you, where you're hoping that you can be worthy to lick their feet or whatever. That's where the one-itis is coming from, is that you're not worthy. Whereas what I'm talking about, the romantic idealist, the womanizer, he says, oh, I just love every woman. I just love the feminine energy. I just love to, feel the curves of a woman's body. That's what a womanizer thinks. It's different. You understand how that's different? And it's different because of the way that you view your interactions with women. You understand what I'm saying? Is that's why I don't want you to be friends with women. I don't want you to hang around them all the time. Okay, there's some exceptions to this, and I'll get to that at the end of this video. But this is going to be a fairly longer video because we really got to go deep on this. Okay, so I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. What I do want is for you to get in the habit of always being on the attack, always on the prowl. And you might say, oh, well, that's kind of sleazy, John. To always be like, can't you just have normal interactions with women without sexualizing everything, without objectifying them? You can, obviously, but I want you to flip that switch all the time when you're interacting with women. I want you to be that hunter, just like a lion, right? Does a lion have to kill every single sheep he sees? No. In fact, if a lion's satiated, if he's not hungry, he might just pass a sheep but he's not going buddy with the sheep. He's not licking the sheep and hanging out with the sheep. Okay, he still recognizes this as prey. He doesn't have to attack this prey at this time. I want you to always see the feminine essence in every woman. I want you to always see that. Now, I don't get weird with your mother and your sisters and okay, that's different. Let's not, before that comment comes in. But you understand what I'm saying. Even the lady taking your order at Burger King, there's a sexual essence to her. Okay? You don't have to act on it, but you need to be aware of it, and you need to see those interactions in the way that makes you a man and her a woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let's talk about his point of saying that it's a great way to get introduction to girls that you will date. So can having friends with women, can have women as friends, can they give you introductions to the girls that you'll date? Yes, they could do that. It's possible. However, there's a couple of counter arguments I would make to this, right? So first of all, women talk, okay? And women, more than talk, they perceive. And so if you have a woman who is basically put you in the friend zone, okay? And she has, whether you want her in the friend zone or not, if she is not sexually pursuing you, then you are in the friend zone. That's how it is. And so if she introduces you to other women, you got to understand what is the psychology of that. Well, first of all, she's not introducing you to women saying, oh, this guy would be great. She might say that to her, but the woman's picking up on that. It's like, well, if he's so great, why aren't you going after him? It doesn't make sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? A woman that was attracted to you would never introduce you to her competitors. And even then, even when a woman has friend zoned you, she doesn't have an interest in you, she still does not necessarily want you to like another woman better than her. Right? So she's going to introduce you to other women potentially. She's going to set you up with women, but the context in which you're set up with those women, it's already a weaker one because you had to be introduced by another woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? Who doesn't have sexual interest in you. And women are going to pick up on that. And so, yeah, you might end up dating some of these women and maybe you might even have a relationship with them. But under which context is a woman going to see you in a more sexualized way as more of a masculine man? If a woman that you're friends with introduces you, or you go up and you talk to her boldly, that she doesn't even know you, and you go and talk to her, yeah, she's more likely to shoot you down. Or maybe just in a social situation, in the context of a social situation where not a woman who's a friend of yours introduced, but you were hanging out with people and she saw you and she saw that you're a leader of other men. She saw other men respecting you. How does that change the situation? So yeah, you can say that you're going to get introductions, but you don't need introductions. That's not the way that you meet women. Yeah, it could be helpful, perhaps. But what I'm saying is that I want you to go out there and meet women on your own. You don't need a woman to introduce you to other women. How ridiculous is that? That's like, again, let's go the lion, all right? Would the lion be like, oh, yeah, this sheep is going to introduce me to other sheep that I can eat? You think that a sheep is going to introduce you to other sheep that you can eat and kill? No, I don't think so. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that analogy isn't exactly a perfect analogy, but it's close enough. It just doesn't make sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so the other thing to understand about this is that whether women believe this or not, okay, whether they consciously understand this, if a woman sees you hanging around other women and she picks up, and let's say that you're at a bar, okay, because the guys say this all the time, is, oh yeah, being around beautiful women or whatever. Okay, there's some truth to it, but it's not just being around beautiful women that attracts other women to you. That's not social proof. You have to understand what social proof actually is. Social proof is that other women are attracted to you, not that you're around beautiful women. Because it's not so simple as what sometimes the picture is painted. Let's say you're at a bar, okay? And let's say that you've got 3 attractive women that are at a table with you and you're talking with them and you're friends with all of them. You don't have any sexual relationship with any of them. They don't have any sexual interest in you. Okay. A woman is observing this. All right. And do you think that she assumes that you are having sexual relations, that these women are attracted to you? No. I'll tell you why she doesn't assume that. Because she can perceive the way that the body language is and the interactions that you're having. She can see it. You can see it. You can see it if you're a keen observer of humans. You can see what the relationship between two people is. Okay, and so if you're a guy that's around a bunch of beautiful women, but those women are not attracted to you, they're not, or you haven't had sexual relations with those women, it does not come across as a good thing. Women see that, and it does not create a pre-selection criteria. It does not create the same thing that let's say that you're at a bar and you've got 3 beautiful women around you, and those women are hanging on you. All 3 of those women you've had sex with, okay, and they still like you. Now, what happens when a woman sees you and she sees you with those 3 women? Oh yeah, now it's pre-selection. Now it's on, baby. Now she's gonna go after you. I promise you. I've seen this exact situation play out. I've done this myself. I've gone to pool parties in Las Vegas, and I have hung out with women there, and I have maybe made out with this girl, and then I'm talking to women in a sexual nature, and then what happens? Other women just start coming up to you because they see that. But if you're just friends with women, it doesn't do you any good. Women can perceive this. Now, again, if you ask a woman, she's going to say, oh, that's ridiculous. I don't care about a man having sex with other women. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make me more attracted to him. She's wrong. Subconsciously, women will know whether that the women that you're hanging out with, that you have a sexual relationship with them or not, whether those women are attracted to you or not. And if they are attracted to you, then it will work for you as social proof. But here's the thing, and guys will say, oh, well, yeah. So I have friends that are women and they are attracted to me, but I'm not attracted to them. And so that works for me. Look, dude, if you got women that are already attracted to you, why do you need that in order to get more women? You don't. Like, if you're in that situation, fine, that's great. Then turn off this video. What the fuck are you watching this video for? Because you don't need my help. You can do whatever you want. If you're that guy and you already have women flocking around you and you friend zone them because they're attracted to you, then you don't listen to anything I'm saying. It doesn't apply to you. It doesn't matter. This is not for you. Because you don't need to be around those women. You could just go attract more. It doesn't make any sense. You understand what I'm saying? This is not for you. So you're not that guy if you're watching this video. Or at least you would have turned it off by now. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm talking to you because I was you. I was a guy that was not able to attract women. I was a guy that struggled with female relationships until I learned things. That's why I'm teaching you this, because I was a dork. And I learned how to pick up women. I learned how to get women attracted to me. I learned how to be extremely successful with women and to coach other guys literally how to do this, okay? And these are the principles that are important to understand. All right, so let's move on here. He says, I was very much into the whole super red pill, no female friend space until I discovered that was actually a huge help to me, okay? So We'll wrap this up here, but is it really a huge help to you? Think about this. I really want you to think about this. Are the female friends that you have, are they actually helping you with women? You might say, oh, well, we have these conversations and I get to understand women better and I understand what they're looking for, guys, and stuff like that. But you can have these same conversations with women you're sleeping with, believe me, okay? Oh my God. When I was going out there, before I got remarried and I was shacking up with a lot of different girls and stuff, I'd go out, I'd go bring a girl home or whatever and pick her up. And I would look at her Tinder with her and the guys that are messaging her, and she would give me these, oh, this guy's a dork or whatever, and insights, right? With a girl that I'm sleeping with. So I would gain way more inside information on women with women who are attracted to me and who think that other guys are losers than I would with female friends. Now, I'm gonna give you one last thing here, all right, about this that you need to understand. The exception to this rule where you can have female friends. So here's the thing to understand, and maybe we'll do a full video on this. And I'm sure we're gonna do some videos in the membership on this. So if you haven't joined the Bulldog Mindset membership, click the link down below, join it. The exception to this is this. Women friend zone guys that they will never sleep with. Men friend zone women they've already slept with. If you're friend zoning women, if you have female friends that are women that you've already slept with, that's the exception to the rule. You can do that. But again, you're not watching this video because you don't need to, because what the fuck? Why are you listening to me? You already got your shit figured out. You understand what I'm saying? But I've had female friends, of course, but those women were women I slept with. And here's the thing about that. You're in control in that situation. In that situation, when women see you around these women, they know. They know that you've slept with these women. They know that these women are attracted to you. They know that you have essentially friend zoned the woman. And that does work for you. Now, it's not something, you shouldn't do it for that purpose. That's silly. Like, and I've had female friendships that I felt were valuable, that were women that I had slept with, and I had a romantic connection with them. And that was great. I could handle that. Okay, good. There is an exception to that rule. That's the thing. It's like, as a man, you can do that. That's fine. That doesn't feminize you. But here's the thing about that. You still gotta be ready to drop them if you jump into a relationship, right? All the female friends that I had, as soon as I got into a relationship, I dropped them, okay? And I told them. And yeah, if you're not ready to do that, then hey, then just drop them now. Then don't have female friends. That's why in general, it's better for you as a man to not have female friends. Like I said, there's an exception, and that's fine, which is women that you friend zone that you've already slept with. So the last thing I'll say about this, the final thing, is that instead of having female friends, have male friends. Why? Because that is what's going to develop your masculinity. Hang around the dudes. Hang around guys that are successful with women. That the best way to become successful with women is to be around men who are already successful with women. It's not to be around women that are friends of yours. That's not it. Or to actually have successful women yourself sexually, yeah, that's fine. That will help you to become better with women. But if you're already doing that, then what's the point? You understand what I'm saying? So the last thing, I keep on saying the last thing here, but I did want to say about this one last point, because I had mentioned that in the comment, which is that women treat friends with romantic interests much differently than each other. Being around women in a non-romantic way only feminizes men. So women treat friends and romantic interests much differently than each other. And this is what you have to understand. Okay, this is so key. If you have women that are friends, the way that they're interacting with you is different than the way that they interact with men who they are attracted to, okay? And so you're not learning anything. In fact, you're learning to be more of a simp, I promise you. That's what you're learning by being around these women, okay? It's just like I said, you don't want to be a lion that hangs around sheep. You want to be a lion that kills sheep, all right? Now, if you want to be a lion that kills sheep, click the link down below, join the Bulldog Mindset membership. I've got a ton of content and videos that will tell you how to become the lion that you are, right? I want to help you, but the only way I can do that is if you're willing to take the step. So join the membership. We'll see you tomorrow.